Heading to P's and B's, number 2, Valance Squadron have the first choice. They're going to ban out Wolfie's Aphrodite again. It's so interesting that this character comes in and out of the meta very, very infrequently. But when she does, there are players that just play her so well that even if she's around, even if she's almost viable, she's too scary.
It's so hard to deal with a late game Aphrodite, even a mid game Aphrodite. As soon as she gets a couple items online, some CDR, a little bit of survivability, she just feels impossible to kill, and I've got no problem with Valance banning it away if Wolfie's got a good one.
Hercules going to be banned as well, so Valance want no healing whatsoever. Doubt we'll see a Circuit come out from them. Instead, it will be the first pick, Kabrakin.
Yeah.
Nike's on the board. Thanatos is on the board.
I love it. I mean, look at it. They're 3-0 with it so far in this young season. Cherio plays it wonderfully in the jungle. Zalia can play it in the solo lane. Big Man Tanks can play it support. It's a flex pick. It's excellent lockdown. No, good level 1 clear, which is so important right now. Love this pick for Valance.
What I like the most about Valance Squad is that a lot of people, myself included, thought that this team's identity might have been lost with Cubo, Fred, and Trix tag. Valance Squad, formerly Orbit, I think have a big, they have a lot of success off of their uniqueness. And losing those 2 players, I kind of thought they would lose that. But one of the nice things about watching Valance Squad play is that they have their own draft picked god pool, and they create their own little sub-meta. When you play them, it's not the same as playing other teams. Kabrakin, Neith, Fafnir. Kabrakin first pick in game 2, Fafnir first pick in game 1. You're not going to see that on other teams.
No, most likely not, but you got to play your opponent. You got to do exactly what you got to work on, playing your own game and understanding what the enemy team is going to do to you, and it's difficult up against a team like Valance to do that. I'm assuming this Neith's going to be in the middle lane for Lobster. His Neith is top tier. That's exactly what they picked. Last time around, we could see the exact same sort of triple Guardian, double Hunter composition, and that's exactly what Cyclone is thinking as well.
Yeah.
2 Guardians picked up by Valance, and then Cyclone still bans 2 away.
Yeah, I mean it's just a situation when you're playing against Valance and we're playing against Eager, you got to ban every Guardian in the draft. Even with Sobek, Ymir, Kepri banned out, I still think there's a possibility that we see a different character come out from Valance. Ramu and Hunbats and Poseidon will be taken by Cyclone. They basically saw Valance's old draft and said, all right, we're going to take that. And Valance goes, select, sort, Guardian, and they select Xing Qian next to On Her. Funball, we mentioned, has been really the star player here in Season 4. He likes to fight. He's always had a fantastic On Her, and On Her's the character that fights you.
I love this. I love this draft from Valance. I love it a lot. I would like to see them pick up a Shogun's Kasari fairly in the middle game to really boost up that attack speed for both hunters here. You do have the Fafnir Coerce buff as well to help out with that exact same thing, but you don't have to worry about it when Coerce is on cooldown if you've got something like Shogun's that's going to AoE buff your attack speed.
Especially Neith and On Her, who are characters that don't have that aggressive steroid. Neith has an enemy debuff, and On Her gets more hits off of his passive. No steroid like that. I don't have to sneeze, but we'll get into game anyway. Game number 2, Valance Squadron up 1-0 here. Cyclone. I won't even say that they're struggling. Cyclone, they're just losing, but they're putting up a decent fight. I've really enjoyed watching them so far.
They definitely have these flashes of brilliance. I mean, Season 3, they end up taking a game off of energy towards the end of the split, and they they always have this. Man, maybe they could be really good. Ice sometimes looked really excellent. Last game he was shut down very, very effectively by Valance Squadron, but sometimes he comes out looking great. Vote likes to play as aggressive as anyone in the world in that hunter position, and when he gets a good start, he can absolutely carry a game. Kalas has some experience going to DreamHack with Paradigm last season. Cyclone has a lot of things going for them. They just haven't put it together quite yet.
And I'm of the opinion that sticking with their roster was probably the best move that they did all of Season 3, and I think it gives them a better shot for Season 4. They did lose Coach Hazer. They're working with a guy named Alpha Jackal now, but I think sticking with this roster, understanding that they're not a #1 team, but they're almost good enough. They're pretty damn good. I think that's certainly a strong look coming out from them. How do you feel about the sticking with the roster?
It can go both ways. If sometimes when you've stuck together for a whole season and you still end up 7th, maybe that's a sign that you should change things around.
I mean, this specific roster for Cyclone.
Right. It's tough to say because it's still early on. I do think that like I've said a lot, they've got a lot of potential. They could absolutely move up towards the middle of the pack in Europe, but Europe's so strong as a whole right now.
Oh, that's true.
Sometimes you just need a change of scenery, and I think that if Cyclone doesn't get off to a good start here in the spring split, we may see them kind of go their separate ways. And you know, they're like, we gave it a try, spring split didn't work out, and now we can move on and try something else. I've got no problem with it. I do like the idea at the get-go, at least.
I think that's the right choice. Fun stuff here coming out. I want to take a look at Ice Baby. He clears off the enemy speed buff and then hits the back Harpies. And because he has the back Harpies, Valance Squadron, despite the fact they're clearing right next to him, they don't even realize that he's at back Harpies. And I can say that with confidence because they would have just crushed a level 2 Hunbats. He's just in the basement stealing everything while homies are upstairs just going about their life.
That's true, but he does lose a lot of mid waves by doing that, and he's a little bit behind in terms of experience in Cherio, who's really stuck with Lobster. Ice kind of took a page out of Cherio's book from last game on the Hunbats, just going into the enemy jungle right off the bat and soloing a buff to take it away from the opposition, but he loses his own buff on that same side, whereas Cherio had gone to the opposite side in order to do that, so it ended up being a little bit more effective for Cherio.
So for me, it's about the denial, because you see right here, Cabrakan and Neath teaming up looking for those back Harpies. They just spawned, but Valance walked past it because it was taken out by Ice Baby. He can go ahead and get his own buffs easier than the opponent can sort of will these forced respawns. And right there, another camp stolen by Ice Baby, who spent more time in the enemy jungle than his own.
He absolutely has. And now it looks like he might try and gank Zaylia on the right-hand side. Zaylia pretty far pushed up, but as a tanky Guardian, I don't think he's in too much trouble here.
Level 4 for Ice Baby. If Ice is 5, that's a fantastic gank. And we see the turnaround. There he is hitting level 5 right now. If Ice is 5 when he comes into the lane, that is the opposite of what we saw last time, where Cherio walks into lane and just gets a kill very early on level 2. If the ultimate's available for Ice here, I mean, that's a dead Zaylia.
Yeah, he had it right there. Zaylia didn't have his CC immunity with the Whirlwind of Rage and Steel, but Ice and Deathwalker didn't think they had quite enough damage to handle that tanky Xing Chen in the solo lane. This time around, it's Cyclone who has a little bit of stay in this composition, though, F-Dot. They've got that Guan Yu, who took a pretty considerable nerf to his heal coming into Season 4, but still good enough to be seeing some play here.
Yeah, I think Guan Yu is still very valuable, not only just because of the heal, but I want to bring up one of the lesser talked about features. It's the Tallow Assault Protection Shred. Look at Valance Squadron. We joked about how this team is the Guardian Squad. 3 Guardians. That Tallow Assault is going to come in handy versus these guys.
That's an excellent point. He does have to be a little bit worried about the interrupt potential from Valance. They've got quite a bit of it, a couple stuns that can get Deathwalker out of that Tallow Assault. Cherio's got 2, Big Man Tings has 1. You are knockback immune during Tallow Assault, so you don't have to worry about the impale, and you can't get knocked up, so not worried about Zaylia either, but when Cherio and Big Man Tings are around, you gotta be a little bit wary about channeling that third ability.
Yeah, you're gonna get stunned out a little bit early on. 4:20 on the clock. Nothing in the kill column so far. Teams very even. About this time we saw First Blood came very early, thanks to Cherio's start earlier in game number 1. But we also saw an early Fire Giant off of some of the aggression in the mid lane. Not going to be the case this time around. Teams not really finding that opportunity to open those windows.
Not quite yet, and I think that favors Valance just because they need their Guardians to get some tank items online to be those annoying frontliners, as well as some levels to put into their abilities and rely on the heavy base damage that many Guardians have. Specifically, Xing Chen, he wants levels in his first ability so that he can do more % damage with it, which is what makes him so potent. Because he can build full tank and then just do a % of your HP with every Furious Roar that he's firing off. But Cyclone, if I'm Cyclone, I'm looking to play around Kalas and Wolfie in the early to mid game. As soon as Wolfie gets his penetration boots, I'm looking to taunt into Kraken someone off cooldown.
I was actually going to bring that up. As soon as I see those penetration boots, I want to see the Gold Fury hard start, where you just pick up the gold. Here's a good play. Kalas gets smoked out. Fun ball through the wall with the ultimate. Fantastic setup coming out from Cherio and Big Man Tings to take Funball to the next level.
That was hot. That was some team synergy right there that you don't necessarily expect from a team that has just been put together in Season 4. Cherio just says, hey, let's kill Kalas. I've got the damage. Funball's made the rotation. Desert's Fury through the wall. The double stun there. That's just a lockdown potential that Cabrakan has. World Weaver onto Ice Ice Baby, followed up by the hammer. Not only gets his purification, but also the Athena ult.
Ice Ice Baby turns around for a split second. Not going to be enough to take out Funball. I think what was most fun for me about that play in the mid lane was that Cyclone. When you're looking at that, when you're looking at that battle in the mid lane, you're taking everything into account. All right, I can get stunned, but it's not enough damage to kill me. It's early. It's a Neath. Who cares? You don't really think, or you don't know that the Anhur is in the jungle behind the wall, ready to toss that ultimate right on through. That's what excited me.
Yeah, the surprise factor, if you will.
It's a straight line.
And
I'm not saying it's hard to hit it through the wall. It's just like all of a sudden you're like, all right, I'm getting walled off. Why am I getting hit with Anhur? What is that?
Why is he diving me? Oh, that's why he's diving me. And now I understand. And like you mentioned, Anhur is just the perfect Funball god.
Yeah.
He wants to fight you early on. He's got great rotations. He wants to take the 1v1s, but also is an excellent team fighter. Anhur does all that very, very well.
And here he's looking for the fight. Gets a couple of basics on the vote. Throws down the ultimate and the slowdown, finds a couple more, and one more shot cleans it up. The solo kill coming out from Funball, having a fantastic series here this Saturday. 2 kills in addition to his 7-1 and 13 slash line from game 1.
That's so usually we curse people as casters. That was perfect timing. My boy, that's my boy right there. Funball helped me out.
Yeah.
He did exactly what I was saying, right as I said it.
Just goes for the fight.
What a good guy.
Look at that. Are you talking about yourself?
No, Funball.
Yeah, good. Collis goes for the turnaround. There's an ultimate at a lobster to stop him in place. Big Man Tiggs pops his ult as well, and Lobby Man takes out the support with a shot. Nice jump over the wall coming out from Ice Ice to save his life. Wolfie trying to come through, has the Kraken available. Whirlpool is strong, doesn't even need it.
Oh!
One more basic will confirm it, but Funball with the wraparound onto Ice Ice takes him out. Cherio gets a turnaround kill as well. Deathwalker falls. My mistake on that. Wolfie did not have the Kraken available, but was able to just chase the enemies out. Valance with their turnaround kills, though.
So unfortunate there for Deathwalker. He thought that Big Man Zings was dead in the water, literally because of the whirlpool, but he had just enough health to sneak out of there and then jump out. And with Deathwalker's pathing, he should have just stayed in and gotten the extra one hit. He canceled his ult early. He could have just done one more swing from the horse onto Big Man Zings to confirm that kill. Instead, the support gets away, and he falls to Cherio, who picks up his first kill. 5-1, Valance in the lead.
So I could be wrong on this, but that to me looked like, and I hate this, that to me looked like Deathwalker trying to let his mid laner get the kill. He didn't want to steal it away from Wolfie. I'm the solo. I get all this farm. That's not the case?
I don't think so. I think that he just thought he was dead. I think that's just, I think that he's dead no matter what I do here, and I want to make sure that I can live and not take an extra tower shot because I know the rotation from the rest of the team is coming. I really just think that he thought he had enough damage.
Okay, good. That makes me a little bit happier because I never liked that idea of, unless it's a Kali or a Thanatos or something, sure, I guess I get it. But at the end of the day, the dead player is so much better than the extra gold being put on your carry. I think that's a flawed thought process.
I agree with you. We see it a little bit too much in some instances. X-Ball, another one that you really want to do. You do want to give the last hits too. But
when was the last time you saw an Shibalanki though?
It's been a hot minute.
I want to see
console Monday. Could happen there.
Yeah.
We've always been a fan of the X-Ball.
I mean Xbox X-Ball, right?
That's right.
Big taunt coming out onto Cherio as the other player jumps over the wall. Not going to happen this time around, but problems for Deathwalker. He's stuck behind the bracket wall, stunned out a second time still. Able to dash away. Look at this rotation coming out from Xing Qian on the top. Zelia's right here. Looks for the washing machine, and he's gone. Lobster and Funball, the 200 players, get 2 kills.
That was a hot rotation from Zelia. Picks up 2. Wolfie had no purification beads, and he is just food for Funball. Funball's had the dream scenarios of these Desert Furies. A man stunned in between a wall, and then right there. Vote up into the sky. Can't quite seal away the Gold Fury. Love the attempt, though.
Absolutely.
Got to make it.
Yeah, you absolutely got to take it. Go for the shot. I mean, how many Gold Furies just this season have we seen stolen by? I mean, we had a So Beautiful steal on. Yep. We had a lot of plays like that. And then if you want to get historical, well, once upon a time, Incon stole a Gold Fury with a Get Basic. I'll always tell that story.
Shout-outs. But it's always, going back to Shibalanki, if I'm stealing Gold Furies, I want X-Ball on my team.
Yeah?
He's got, the most Gold Fury secures stolen away. It's always, branching Bola, right? Just some, little lame, dinky, source of damage that always ends up stealing it away.
Either way, nobody's stealing the Gold Fury this time. Gold Fury goes down, and Valance created enough space with their fight over there on the left side to also grab the mid lane tower.
Cherio, he gets taunted in, but a great wall blocks off the ultimate from Deathwalker. Really heads up play there by Cherio. Didn't have his purification beads, knew he was in trouble right away, but knew that Collis was also a little bit farther forward than the rest of his team, and that he had enough time to turn around and fire it off, taking advantage of that sound cue from Guan Yu hopping on that horse. Knew he was coming and blocked him off with the wall.
Portal Demon here, taken out by Valance Squadron. They don't really value this objective too heavily, we can see from their performances this week so far. Oh, Collis.
See ya. There's the kill. Funball gets it as well. 5-0-1. Funball again just showing up in this game. There's the stun. Waits for it from Big Man. Takes the guarantee. The body block is beautiful. Deathwalker, no ultimate. Needs one more auto. Lobster and Funball both trying to find it, and it will be the Hunter in the mid lane, not the duo lane. Lobster. Ice Baby jumps right back into Cherio, but the Fear No Evil gets him off just to make sure he can get away.
Wrong target selection coming out from Cherio. Definitely could have killed the monkey. Instead, opt for the other target. Ice will go home safe and sound. Funball with his second assist, letting Lobster get that kill on the right side.
Vote's got to deal with a solo laner here on the left. Love the decision from Xaylia, knowing that the rest of the team is on that right-hand side, that there's plenty of farm available on the left, and he's there to take it and try and keep Vote there while Valance do this Fire Giant. No Kraken, no Fear No Evil, only Defender of Olympus and Astral Barrage available.
Still going to see the retreat coming out from Valance Squadron, but the Fire Giant picked up by Cyclone. Half HP on the objective, and the map presence is had by Cyclone. They're going to retreat as the objective is down to 25%, and Deathwalker going to, well, die.
Collis very low. Cherio's going to be able to pick him up as well. Funball jumps, trying to find the kill onto Wolfie. Two-man Kraken going to do a decent amount of damage, but not going to save his life. Funball picks up his 6th kill of the game already. Funball still trying to box here with Vote. The roll is down. He does have his ult, but I don't know if he has enough mana.
No, Lobster's going to team up again. Very anticlimactic fight here. Valance just able to clean up anything that they want. Cyclone have looked, this is the first real bad team fight I've seen. Despite this turnaround coming out right here from the Athena and the Collis, or the Athena and the Ice. This is the first real bad team fight I've seen out of Cyclone. Players were spread out. There was no real target selection, and I like the call to pick up the Fire Giant from the enemy, but if you make that call, you stick to that call.
The problem here is that there's just no physical protection for Cyclone yet. I mean, Deathwalker's level 12. He's 3 levels down from Funball, and he's got a Genji's Guard. Against 2 Hunters, he went for a Genji's Guard. Now, there is 3 magical damage dealers on Valance, and his lane opponent magical, the jungler magical, so I understand the thought process there, but Sovereignty's still not finished off by Collis, so he's not giving those physical protections to the rest of his team, and Funball is just so huge, as is Lobster, who's 4, 1, and 8. He's got an almost fully tracked Transcendence, the Ichaival as well. It's just been too much physical damage for Cyclone to deal with, as well as they don't have any magical defense to really deal with the Guardian damage either.
I mean, that's a perfect example of you got to play the game, the hand that you're dealt, not the game that you plan on paper, right? And to be completely fair, perhaps these items were started, and players really like to start an item, stop, and then start a second item. So there is that to be said. But when you look at this draft, you say Lobster and Funball are the only 2 physical damage players on the team, and they're Hunters. I don't have to worry about them till later. I can build boots, build a crossover item, and build a magical thing, and then by the time I get to my 3rd item, that's what I'm going to have to worry about, really dealing with the Hunters. Cherio in trouble here, controlled by 2 different ults, 4 different ults, and that's likely the death.
He's still alive. He's still alive. Finally, he falls, but it buys enough time for Xaylia to toss 3 into the middle tower. There's no rotation coming. They're just like, Xaylia, good luck, brother. You can try and get a kill if you can. Tier 2 tower falls on the left-hand side. Xaylia taunted back in by Collis.
Totally fine.
Whirlpool there. They just don't have enough damage. Xaylia's still going to run away.
Nah, Xaylia, he's the tank right here, going to deal with Deathwalker. One more shot. Big heal coming out for the Guan Yu. That's a big play.
Now the squad is here. Big Man Zings and Funball comes screaming down the middle lane. Funball's here and make sure Wolfie knows about it. The third death for the Poseidon in the middle lane. Big Man Zings trying to chase down the majority of Cyclone that's left on this right-hand side, waiting for calls to dash away. Big Man has the jump. Meanwhile, Lobster looking for Deathwalker.
Now it's going to be trouble, and, well, Funball gets another kill, Lobster gets another kill, and this is what I was saying, was that Cyclone, they had the right thought process in build Magical now, the Guardians early are going to really give us trouble, and we'll deal with the Hunters when we have to deal with them. But the problem was 8-0-4 on the Anhur. Now the Neath and Anhur, these are earlier game Hunters. When we say earlier game Hunters, they're not coming online at level 5, but they reach their peak a little bit earlier than some of the other characters. Surprise F6. What?
Cyclone just don't think they have any option to get back into this game because of how much map pressure Valance